Hey dudes, today it's some simple redstone work to make our industrial smelter, the Smelterizer at TheeRealDuke, and that's all happening right now. What is going on, dudes? How you guys doing? Good? You guys doing alright? You guys feeling alright? I have a pretty I want to say exciting. It's going to involve redstone, which not everybody is into, but I just want to show you guys if you get some simple redstone concepts down, that you can really help your cause in Minecraft, whatever it's going to be. So I'm going to show you guys today. We're going to build it as we go. You're going to see it happening. An industrial smelter. So if you don't know what an industrial smelter is, essentially we're going to use some comparators, some simple redstone tips, tricks, and some they're not even tricks, it's just very basic redstone. We're going to use the nature of how hoppers work to our advantage, and we're going to create an industrial smelter. Now the way industrial smelters work, if you don't know, okay, is when I put, there's going to be a chest over here for fuel, there's going to be another chest for the ingredients or items I want to smelt, and then there's going to be an output. And all I do is open up the chest that's going to be right here, dump in my fuel, and then it will automatically be placed in a synchronized fashion, evenly spread throughout all of these furnaces. And then the same thing will happen when I put whatever it is I want to smelt in there, be it logs to turn into charcoal to feed back into the system, or chickens, or whatever. You know, I'm mostly going to be using it for cobblestone, to smelt that into smooth stone, but you know, hey, you can use it for whatever you need to smelt. And then there's going to be hoppers right underneath these dudes. And in my design, I'm going to have it feed right into my system to transport stuff all the way up to right next to my my storage room. But you can actually just stick an output chest right there. And I'm actually going to show it with that in this episode. I'm going to convert it later in a future episode into an automatic charcoalizer. So it'll spit charcoal out. There'll be a sorting system. It'll spit it right back into the system to feed it. It's going to be sweet. So, and then also in that episode, I'm going to go ahead and connect it in here. So we'll show that later. But first things first, let us get to how this works. So basically, one of the main principles that we're going to be working with here, that's going to help this happen for us and help this work smoothly for us, is the fact that when hoppers have a current, I'm just building a little stairway here for me to get up so I can actually access what I need to. And let me just throw some torches up here. So when you apply a current to a hopper, it freezes the hopper. And I wanted to say that it closes the hopper, but if there's something already in the hopper, it also doesn't let go of it. So it holds, it freezes whatever is in the hopper. I'm just going to break this one so we can jump back there. Now, I'm going to show you my inventory so you can see some of the stuff we have. It's, you know what? I'm not going to lie. You're going to need a lot of hoppers, and a lot of hoppers mean a lot of iron. Okay, I got a stack of hoppers here. You know I have an iron golem farm over there, so you know iron is not an issue. If you don't have this much iron, I promise you, this isn't even a stack of iron blocks, okay? This is something that's attainable, okay? This is 5 stacks of iron ingots. So here's what we're looking at here, okay? I got some filler materials. I got my charcoal for when we test it. You are going to need a redstone repeater. We are going to use 2 redstone comparators. You're going to need some redstone torches, some redstone, and I got some trap chests and some regular chests, and there's a good reason we're using trap chests. And we're going to get to that, and it's going to make sense when you see it. But that's it. So it's not... Is it resource friendly? Other than iron, yeah, it's really resource friendly. It's, again, not even a stack of iron blocks. And if you're just starting out and, you know, you've only maybe been in your world for like a day or two, then, you know, you probably shouldn't have this prioritized that high anyway. But let us get to it. So for right now, this is going to be my output chest. And let's see. Let me move this down here so that we know it's the output chest. I don't want to frame in it. Thank you. Let's just put stone brick in there, okay, to represent that it's the output chest. Now, to the output chest, I am going to run a line of hoppers, and I'm just holding shift. I'm sneaking, and pointing each hopper into the back of the one before it, and ultimately into the item chest. Now, when the hopper is on the bottom side of the furnace, if you don't already know, when the hopper's on the bottom side of the furnace, it will suck out whatever is in this space right here. It'll suck it right out, unless there's a current applied to it. Again, remember, if there's a current applied to the hopper, it freezes the hopper. So, we want those all to be open, so if anything finishes smelting in here, it's going to end up in this chest, okay? Now, we need a way to get the fuel into the hoppers, so we'll tackle that first. So I'm plugging hoppers. We need to get fuel into the furnaces, rather. So I just plugged in some furnaces into the back of the furnace. I plugged some hoppers into the back of the furnaces. Sorry, and so whatever goes into these hoppers will go directly into this slot here. This is the fuel slot. Okay, pretty simple so far. You with me? Okay, you're with me. Good. So now we don't want these to just fire off willy-nilly. We want to freeze these. We want to be able to shut them so that nothing can go in. Okay, and the way we're going to do that is we're going to put a redstone. We're going to apply a redstone current to it. Okay, and what we're going to use for that is just some redstone torches. So now, just double check real quick, and just to make sure. And I missed one here. Just to make sure. I didn't mean to put that one there. You don't need it. Let's see what happens when we put something in a hopper. And nothing. Okay, maybe that didn't work because it's not something that that can be used for fuel. Let's put charcoal in. Nothing. Okay, so normally if this redstone circuit, if this redstone was not there, check it out. Gone. Okay, and where is it? It is in the fuel slot of this furnace. Are you with me? Are you with me? I know you are. This ain't hard. This ain't hard. Okay, so what we need to be able to do is we do eventually want these to put fuel in the back there, so we're going to need a way to turn them off simultaneously because we want them all to have stuff dispersed evenly and simultaneously throughout. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a line of redstone over the top. Now, if the block that the redstone torch is coming out of gets powered, then it'll turn that redstone torch off. So, in other words, if I put a redstone torch right where that torch was, I'm just throwing some torches around. If I put a redstone torch right here, it'll power all of these blocks and shut these all off. Check it out. Boom. They're off. Okay? So, we're going to use that to open these at a specific time to let in fuel at a regular rate. Okay? Does that make sense? Again, this is not hard. This is not too hard. Just stay with me. Stay with me. So, now I'm going to start building. We need a way to get the fuel dispersed into these. So what we got to do is we have to have some hoppers. We have to have some hoppers above these to form a chain because we got to get it all the way down there. And if you put hoppers in a line going in the direction you want, okay, so I plugged it into there. So if you look from here, you can see this hopper's plugged into this block. Okay. Now we're gonna break this block. We don't need that block there, but I'm gonna plug the hoppers in to, and I'm holding shift again. I'm gonna plug these in here in this fashion, and then I'm gonna just throw 2 extra ones here, and you'll see what those are for in a second. Okay, but so we don't need this one here. So if we have, this is going to be our fuel input. So if we have fuel coming in, it's going to spread all the way down here. And then if we apply current to it, it's going to freeze them there. And then when we release that current, it's going to drop right into the one directly below it. So that's how we're going to disperse evenly. Okay, so it's, again, the way the hoppers work, we're going to have a chest over here, and it's going to be feeding charcoal in. And so it feeds from one hopper to another at a regular rate, at regular intervals. So it's going to feed them all. And at one point, these are all going to have one piece of charcoal in them, or coal, or logs, or planks, whatever your fuel is. They're going to have one of each in them. And then we're going to freeze them there. And then we're going to use that timing to open them and close them with redstone current. And so if they're all pointed this way, they're going to disperse evenly. Then when we open these, they're all going to drop down. Okay? So, Now we need a way to close these up here. So what I'm going to do is, now for me to get this to work with the timing, which I'll explain later, I needed to run this current to freeze this one out here too. And even though this was not above 1, this made the whole thing run more smoothly for me, so I'm going to recommend you do it. Now if this one here was the last one, when I was testing it in my redstone world, what was happening is this one kept bunching up, and instead this one keeps bunching up, which is okay because it's before the cascade actually happens. And when this one was bunching up, what I mean is this one was getting too much coal, so it wasn't dispersing evenly, so there would have been a stockpile back up there. So, you know, that's kind of what I'm talking about. So now we need a way to synchronize when the top and the bottom are going to be closed, and the way that we're going to do that is with some comparators. So check this out. This is going to be pretty simple. It's going to be pretty simple and pretty sweet. So we need is right here a comparator, not a repeater. We need a comparator coming out of, here's my comparators, coming out of this line. Okay. So what's going to happen is we are going to see when the charcoal reaches, okay? So when the charcoal starts flowing in, there's going to be one charcoal here. And then in a couple ticks, I think it's 2 ticks, maybe it's just 1 tick, but let's say it's 2 ticks. So in 2 ticks, there's going to be a charcoal here and a charcoal here. In 3 ticks, there's going to be charcoal, 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 charcoal. And then 4 ticks, 5 ticks, 7, 8, you know, all the way down, there's going to be 1 charcoal in each of these. When the charcoal gets to here, we know all the ones behind it are full. And so as soon as it gets to here, we want to send a current up to these to stop the flow so that they're evenly dispersed. And when we want that to happen, we want to open these down here because we want the charcoal to be able to flow down, because right now nothing can flow down. So we want to freeze it when we know they're all evenly full, and then open it and just boom, let them all fall down. Cool? So we're going to use this. We're going to take the current right off of here, and we're just going to wrap it around. Very simple. And this is going to look a little weird for 1 second, but it'll make sense. Okay, now I have to get this to work well, I have to set this for some reason to 2 ticks. And the other one, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to repeat this concept over on the other side. So now, a signal is going to go when this one has charcoal in it. The signal is going to go to here, and I will show you. Let's throw a piece of charcoal in. You see the signal? This comparator shoots signal into this block. This repeater pulls the signal out of this block and puts it into this block. Okay? So then we're going to take the signal from here, we're going to put it to there, and we're going to shut these off and turn these on. Does that make sense? You with me? Okay, let's check it out. So to make sure that there's no interference, because there's a redstone torch here. So if we put a block here, which is what we need, it makes a clock. Did you see it just flashing there? I don't have shears on me. I should have shears on me, but I don't. Ooh, just breaking blocks. Okay, so when I put a block here, it takes signal from this and feeds it into the wire, and it creates a really fast 1 tick clock. You see it flashing, and then it burns out. Okay, I'm just gonna leave that one there. So we can't use that, and that's also gonna screw with this redstone up here. So we need to put in this. Look, just like that. So now there won't be any weirdo interference, because these are slabs. So redstone signal cannot be transmitted through slabs. It can be transmitted on wire over slabs, but not through them. We actually don't need this very much anymore, I don't believe. So I'm just going to get that out of the way to keep this clear. So what I'm saying should happen is, okay, if at this point, okay, what you need to recognize right now is that the mechanism for this is finished. What you just saw me build is a completed mechanism that evenly disperses charcoal into all of these. And we're just going to build the same mechanism in a slightly different shape, the same exact mechanism, for feeding the items into the top. It's the same exact principle. So we're done. You got it. That's all there is to it. It's easy. Okay. Now I'm just going to show it to you real quick so you can help understand what it means. So when I put a charcoal in here, it's going to transmit a signal to this. It's going to go into this block. This is going to pull the signal from this block and shove it into this block. This block is going to be powered, which will power this redstone right here. And that'll send it down this redstone line and over here. Now it'll go down this redstone line. And when it's on these, when it's on hoppers, remember, when a redstone circuit is on hoppers, it freezes the hopper. When a redstone power goes over the block that a torch comes from, on the side or on the top, when redstone goes into the block that the torch is on, it shuts that torch off. Okay? So what should happen is, when I put a charcoal in here, we'll see this flash, and then the charcoal will be gone, and then it'll be in here. Okay? It won't be in this slot. I didn't mean to point there. It'll be in this slot. Right? Let's check it out. Very simple test. Bloop. Gone. If it gets stuck, maybe the timer wasn't long enough. It did get stuck. Okay, so now we just have to increase the timer to let that open a little bit longer, to let these open a little bit longer so it's got extra time to flow through. So I just increased this from 2 ticks to 3 ticks. In my single player world, when it's just on my computer, there we go. 2 ticks is good. And there it is. So for this, on this multiplayer server, I'm on Craftage. On the multiplayer server, this needs to be 3 ticks. Don't know why, but that's what it is. Okay? So now, what I'm saying is, if I put 8 blocks in here, okay, it should flash. Now, maybe the timing's going to work out a little weird, so it's not going to be 100% foolproof on here. But in single player world, it will work completely. So I'm just going to grab myself 8. I'm going to feed them into this one. And then they're going to flow down here, and let's see what happens. Did you see it light up? So let's check this one. This one should have 1 in it, and they should all have 1 in it. 1, 1, 1. You see where this is going? Do you see where this is going? Okay. So I am going to cut for 1 second. I'm going to repeat this process for the top, and then when we come back, I will explain it to you. Be cool, babies. I'll be right back. Okay, so we are back. And so all I did was I plugged some hoppers into the top of these furnaces. Okay, and and remember, when they're in a chain like this, as soon as they can drop something down, they will. As soon as they're first able to. So we need to... we need to keep these dudes here locked up tight until we're ready to drop them down. So when we come up top here, okay, remember we need to keep these closed, but this redstone is interfering here, so we're going to take care of that in 1 second. But first, all we're doing is just kind of running this right along right here, right like this. Okay, and then that same array of torches that we have in the back pointed into the lowest row of hoppers. We're just doing the same thing again. Same exact thing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so now these are closed. So if I put something in this top one that I would want to smelt like this, it doesn't move because these are closed. Okay. So we're gonna use this to send signal through, and that one was on 3. This one, to work correctly, had to be 4. So it was like, or 3 in my single player world. So it would be in my redstone test world. So it was 2 here and 3 here for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe they were on different chunk lines. I don't know why. I don't understand why redstone timing is still a little weird sometimes, especially in multiplayer. But I don't get paid those big bucks. So it's supposed to be 2, and it was 3. So this one is 3. We're going to start with 3 and then see if this works. I hope that it does. But then we need to get wire up to here too. So we're just going to go ahead and connect that on out. Shouldn't be too hard. Don't need that anymore. Don't need comparators anymore. Or repeaters. We're basically done. Basically. So... we'll put this one here. Oh no, actually, we'll put it... can I get... yeah, right there. Oh, I guess we do need that comparator back. Is this, yeah, we're good. We are good. Okay, remember, so when we put current into this line of redstone here, it's going to turn all these torches off, just like it does on the other side. Same principle, okay? So we just need to get the current up to there somehow. And all I'm going to do is put a block here and just pull it right off of there. Okay, but now this redstone right here is not pointed into this block anymore, so we won't pull power from it, so just connect it right there. Okay? It's done. Except for one thing, one tiny thing. See this right here? These are going to interfere, so we just need to put a row of blocks above this, like this, and you can see it's cutting off the line. There we go. Okay. So, let's see if it works. So, I'm going to put a piece of, let's say, cobble in here, and as soon as I do, it should hit this comparator, sending current into here and down the chain exactly as it did in the back. Let's see what happens. Perfect. Now we just need to make sure that it goes into the top. Oh, and look at that, it's already smelting away. Boop. Oh, where'd it go? Into the hopper chain. So let's check down here and see if this is where our smooth stone is, and it is. Alright. It's capable of smelting. It can do it. So now we need to test for real if we can get 8 of them to work, okay? To make sure that that 3-tick delay that we have on the jeez, why am I blanking? Maybe I need some more coffee. Oh wow. On the repeater. I'll get it eventually. This 3-tick delay that we have on the repeater here, let's make sure that's long enough. So we're going to feed in into this one. I'm going to feed in 8, and then we'll see what happens. So let's watch it. Boop. Look at that. Perfect synchronicity. All 8 of them fire up at the same time. How awesome is that? Boom, 8 blocks. Dudes, that's it. We are done. So this one shut off first because there was a piece of coal from when we were testing it first. When we were testing it before. Remember, we left with all 8 of these full. So these are going to burn out, and I did waste some showing you guys how to do it, but that's okay. That is a-okay. So, I mean, how hard was that? How hard was that? You want me to go over it again? I'll go over it one more time real quick. Piece of cake. Just to make sure you get all the concepts that are at play here. So, the way we're able to do this and have it synchronized is because we take advantage of the property that hoppers have where if you run a current to them, they freeze. Okay? So right now, these hoppers are all open. And as soon as we know there's one piece of coal in each hopper, which we will assume is true by the time a piece of coal gets to the end here, and this is just for the fuel. Okay, that's why I'm saying coal. As soon as coal gets to this hopper, we have it send a current back around and wrap it through to freeze all the hoppers that the coal's running through. A tick later, we have all of these open up and it pulls out everything. And then it just drops right down, right into the back of our furnaces. Okay? And that's how we get it to drop down. It's very, very simple. Now, the trickiest part of this whole thing is just understanding that this would interfere here, and you need, if we put a block right here, it would interfere with this torch, which would transmit signal to this wire, and that would screw everything up and make a clock, which I showed you before. That's it. That's the hardest. That is really the hardest part. Once you understand that, you just have to be able to switch off and switch on the hoppers as you need to. You got it all figured out. So we have that system working once in the back, and we have the exact same system in just a different orientation on the front to make sure that it all fits together. Now, there are, I think, prettier designs around, okay, that will work better. So if you want it to look a little bit prettier, here's what you can do. I'm just going to destroy this for 1 second, and I'll show you. And this is how mine's going to be finished. Okay, so first, we're going like that, okay? And then we're doing this. Okay. So then we'll head back up and then just pop them back into place where they were. The torches and such. So I need another piece there, and I'm gonna use this for right now, just to make sure that my colors look nice. That'll give me maximum options. And then where are my torches? Here we go. And just put these back. Okay. So now we can only see the flame part of the furnace, but you don't have to see any of the other stuff. So we can tuck it in there kind of nicely. Okay. And that's all still connected, so everything is going to work fine. So let's try it out, shall we? So I'm going to put 8. There we go. I'm going to put 8 charcoal in, and we will. Jeez, can I get 8? There we go. I'm going to put 8 charcoal in the top for the fuel, and then I'm going to put a stack, which will divide it up into 8, 8, and 8. Hopefully, let's see. A stack of, and I put them in the wrong ones, obviously, because I'm awesome. Take them all back out. Take them all back out, and I'm just gonna chuck that also. We're not trying to smelt charcoal. I didn't label the chests, and I was just thinking I need to show them how to label the chests and where to put the chests. Okay, let's try this again. So in the back one where the fuel goes, if I can get 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that should be flowing in evenly. And the top one where what we want to smelt goes, we put in 64. And then we'll wait for these to kind of fill up and see what happens. But boom, look at that. They all start up at the same time. So we should be able to see them filling. Okay, look at this. So it's working. It is working. It is all flowing evenly, and we're going to achieve maximum efficiency this way. The reason I went with 8, before I tell you about the chests, the reason I went with 8 is because 8 is a multiple of 64. Stacks are 64, so I'll be able to divide things up evenly. Okay, so that makes it just easier when I'm thinking about, you know, fitting stuff in and you know, dumping stacks in here to make sure I get maximum efficiency from my, you know, my fuel source and stuff like that. Number one. Number two, also, each charcoal burns 8 pieces of, or cooks 8 pieces of whatever, smelts, whatever you want to call it. So there's that also, which is cool. But anyway, let me show you about these chests, and you can put them wherever you like. Okay, I'm actually going to put this here, and we're going to leave that one there. So what I'm doing is I'm going to get my trap chests, and you can turn these hoppers in whatever direction to make it as convenient as you like. Okay, so I'm putting trap chest here, and here, and then here, and here. Now this is not where I'm going to have it actually at the very end, but I didn't actually want this one here. Do I have an axe on me? No. We'll leave it. That's okay. That will do. And I almost died. That would have been sweet if I would have fallen all the way down there when we're this close to being finished. Now, the reason I use trap chests, I learned from my mistakes. I don't know why I had this closed up before. The reason I use trap chests is because when you open them and mess with them and put stuff in them, they create a circuit. And so when they do that, a signal rather, a redstone signal. And so when they do that, they close off the hopper that they're in. And so this will allow you to put stuff in and screw around with it however you want. And then close it and then let the thing run. So you can see here we have a full stack of smooth stone. We have 0 fuel and anything. So it worked 100% efficiently. I'm going to put some frames on here for the time being so I can get to using it while we are filling it up. But I think that is going to be it for this episode. So for next episode, I'm going to connect this into here. We're going to figure out a way to get the signal pulsing to send this up to near the chest room where we have the master in pile, I guess I'll be calling it, from here to tie the whole thing together. We're also going to figure out some kind of bypass, some type of automatic way to feed logs or charcoal back into the system. So when it spits out charcoal into where this chest would be or into this line, I want it to say, hey, that's charcoal. Charcoal needs to go back. And then we send charcoal back in, and then that will become the fuel. So we're going to be working on that next time. What else for next time? Maybe we'll have some more of that done over there. Maybe we'll have this gaping hole sorted out. What am I doing here? Well, I'm bringing a nice big stairway down here, making this look kind of epic, because for whatever reason, whenever I leave my storage room, which is right up there, I run this way and then try and get down. Even though I have a path cut right through the floor, I still freaking do it all the time. So I'm just, and I come over here and then I just jump off there. So I'm like, okay, if I just have a path here, then I'll be able to do it. So maybe this will be done next time. Who knows? But I hope you dudes were able to follow along. I hope you guys aren't intimidated by redstone, because you shouldn't be intimidated by it. It is useful. It's a couple simple concepts that we're working with that we made a very useful thing for ourselves. I hope you thought it was pretty easy peasy living greasy, because I think it was. I think it was. So I want to thank you so much for watching. Check out my YouTube channel for Let's Builds and Infinite Heights server contest videos. Head over to the Infinite Heights forums at InfiniteHeightsMC.com. Join me, my builds, and the awesome Infinite Heights community at play.infiniteheightsmc.com. As always, I can't even tell you how much I do truly appreciate every single view, every like, every comment, and sub. I do want to thank you so much for your view. I do appreciate it. As for me, it's TheeRealDuke, and I'm out.